I am a true crime junkie through and through, so when I heard that Dateline was doing a live event here in Nashville, you already know that I was there front and center. I had to hear all the tea straight from my favorites like Blaine, Andrea, Josh, and Lester, and of course my boy Keith with that voice who summed the whole event up nicely.
Weirdly enjoyable and terrifying all four.
But what really got me was hearing how many of these stories were rooted in domestic violence. It wasn't just a theme, it was a thread. And then I learned this.
I think every victim survivor has their own reason. As a survivor myself, did not tell my family what was going on. I have lots of reasons for that. I think of all the victims and survivors who call the National Domestic Violence Hotline, who often don't label it domestic violence, are really trying to get a handle of what am I experiencing in my life and how can I make it stop? And we're doing a lot of education that it's not you, it's the person who's making a choice to cause harm. And sometimes victims will say, they've threatened to hurt my family if I say anything, so sometimes they're doing that to protect their family, their kids. I always say survivors are the most bravest people you'll meet because they are making difficult decisions every single day. And we may not be able to understand them, but they're doing them to survive.
Sometimes it could be a financial motive too. They feel they have nowhere to go, or they don't want their family to turn on, their husband or their boyfriend, because once you let that out, there's no turning back usually.
And there's been lots of stories of parents being murdered and kids, lots of tragedy around when that person begins to think they're losing control in that relationship, the violence will escalate. So there is a lot. You mentioned the financial abuse. 98% of domestic violence relationships have financial abuse. And they ruin your credit. They make it really difficult for you to be able to leave. And when someone will say, why don't they just leave? The people we talk to are trying, and it's very difficult.
Well, we know from all the datelines that we've done is that the most dangerous time in these relationships is when one person says that they're going to leave. The victim says they're going to leave.
Yes, lethality increases by 70%.